Hi, my name is Kim Orth, and welcome to Girl Power Amazing Books for Amazing Readers. I chose this subject because I feel that most graphic novels, at least the ones that I saw at you know, in the libraries, were mainly based towards boys. There wasn't a lot of ethnic diversity, there wasn't a lot of girls or young women. And so my goal for the summer was to find something that could represent a wide variety of girls and young women and just to give them some girl power because it seems to be an underrepresented group. So my homepage is set up with the tabs vertically. I wanted that because I didn't want to overlook Miss Marvel here because I love her and she's just amazing and a great role model for people of all ages, whether you're girls or boys. When we click on grades K through 2, this was a little harder for me to find people because most the graphic novels grades K through 2 either have no words, just pictures, or very little words. And so to find that tended to be about more animals. There was Silly Lily, which is a series, and Little Robot. I found those. And then the other ones have, just animals in it. Some I've read as a parent to my children, like Guinea P.I., Hamster and Cheese is very funny. Second graders love that book. Really good one. Grades 3 through 5 is where I did my resource guide. So here's where I was really looking because that's where readers could handle a little bit more material. Things that are popular are Baby Mouse, huge series, like 14, 15 books in the series. T-Dragon Society was this year's best publication for kids. Zeta, again, is another series. So just Space Girl going to rescue a friend. Again, we have Miss Marvel, who I love. And this would be a good introduction to chapter books, and it brings in Thor. And so lots of people know Thor and they work together. And so it was a good introduction to her series. My favorite book that I've read this summer was about Princess Adrienne, the Princeless series, where she rescues herself. And I just thought that's a great message for girl power. And her story kind of continues into the next category. And then Roller Girl. So both of these books are books that I've hadn't heard of before. And once I read them, I thought they have to be included. And then the last one I got was at the LA convention, and I met the artist for this series. It's also based on a Nickelodeon series. But I really liked it, and the girl was young, and I thought, well, what a good way to support girl power right there. Middle school, again, these are books that read for class, that looking for books with strong female characters, and Lumberjanes, very different kind of young women, and it kind of reminds me of a series of unfortunate events, but it's at a camp for girls. It's hilarious. Smile by Raina Telgemeier. She's done so many great books about middle school, and this was like the first big one. So I wanted to include that for people that maybe didn't know about her and where to start. And again, we have Miss Marvel's first book. Love her. Poppies of Iraq. I got this also at the LA convention. And it's probably more 8th grade on up, but I think I was wanting to look for diversity, and in my school we have in our district we have many students from the Middle East, and I just thought this would be a good book to represent Muslim Americans, or just kind of the struggle of being in between two countries and two different cultures. So going back to the other Princeless books, Raven is introduced in the last Princess Adrienne book, and so then this is her story, and I put this one in the middle school group because they have a little bit more mature themes, not too much, but a little bit more, and so I thought it would be more appropriate for middle school. And then Goldie Vance I got at an ALA convention. Also, I got to meet Hope Larson, who was the creator, and I liked this book because, you know, it shows African Americans in a positive role and solving problems and being just great. So I wanted to represent another way to represent positive girls. And then the last book in middle school was more represented or recommended from a student that I had this summer. And she loved it. And it's all about middle school problems and how to deal with it. And Terry Liebenson created Invisible Emmy, and then there's another book like it. So if girls like that, they could read that. The last group is high school. And these were the books that I've not necessarily read, but found online and realized they would look really good. So the first one is Nimona, and it was a National Book Award finalist. And there's also, started off at a web comic, and now they put it into a graphic novel. Adventures of Supergirl. This one is hilarious. It brings in a Canadian superhero, which we haven't really heard too much of before. It won the Eisner Award for publication ages 8 to 12, but it's really more of an older book because she talks about having roommates and going out partying and being hungover. And so this is really an older person's book, not a younger one. Persepolis, I read this for Banned Book Weeks, and this just book really fit in, again, ties in with ethnic diversity. Shutter is a great series. It's kind of like the Indiana Jones, but for the young adult set. And it's several books in this series. Anya's Ghost was a 2012 winner for young adults from Eisner. And then I needed a superhero tie-in, so I found Female Thor, and I thought, well, that's empowerment right there. So I included her book. They did not win any awards, but she's got a couple books. And then the last one is Paper Girls, which did win Best New Series in 2016. I personally didn't really care for this series, but my friend who works at high school libraries said that this one goes off the shelves all the time. So I thought, well, I need to include it, even though personally I didn't care for it. But if the girls like it, we've got to have it. So that is my website, and I hope you like girl power.